The moment that significantly changed the way I think about information, communication, and critical thinking happened the day the war in Ukraine started. At that time, I was 16 years old and living in Kiev with my family. Before that, I was really following the news, or it would be casual just briefly looking at it. But after that day, I started to monitor the news daily and really carefully. I still remember the exact moment when the war started. It was really early in the morning, around 5 o'clock. My dad walked in my room, woke me up, and just said, "The war started," and walked away. I was really confused, but I thought he was just joking at first. I got up from my bed and walked to the kitchen to figure out what happened, but I saw my parents getting ready to leave. I asked them where they were going, and they told me that they were going to our neighbor's house for tea.
My mom told me to pack my bags just in case. She said to only pack what is necessary.
After they left, the first thing I did was look at my phone, and I saw a bunch of texts from my friend and news publicists about the war. The first video I watched was the Russian president's speech. He was talking about the special military operation. I remember how weird it felt because before, I would only hear about the war from history books, movies, and my grandma's stories about how my granddad fought in World War II. I spent about 2 hours just reading the news, watching TV, and talking to my friends about what is happening. My sister was home too, and she was as confused as I was. We both looked outside the window and saw crowds of people just packing their stuff and leaving. The panic was everywhere. After 2 hours, my parents came back home and I asked them, "Are we going to leave? What is our plan? Are we going to stay?" All they told me is that they don't know, and we will figure it out later. Me and my family spent the rest of the day watching TV and reading news, discussing what is going on. From that day forward, I started to really keep track of the news and not just checking up on them. I was researching, looking for any information I could find. The amount of false information was incredible, so I found the most reliable sources and was constantly checking up on them. A lot of our family friends would tell us about the legit information they got from someone in the military about when and where the next strike was going to be. Of course, all of this information was wrong. At first, all of this was overwhelming. The amount of content I would consume was not normal. That was all I did the whole day. But later, you get used to it and only start checking for important information like air raid alarms. There were also moments during that time that showed how tense and uncertain the situation was in everyday life. One example happened in my neighborhood about the week after the war started. Some local guys caught a man who had been making special marks on the ground that were meant to help guide Russian strikes. After they caught him, they beat him up really badly and taped him to a pole with tape and called the police. I remember how my friend told me about that and how it was happening outside his window. From what I've heard, the police took him to the station and beat him up even more. Some people said that he passed there. It might sound really violent and maybe even unfair, but the people who did there were local guys with families, and the fact that some man was trying to put them and their families in danger made them do what they felt was necessary. I don't think of it as something terrible, to be honest. It's just people trying to protect their loved ones. After about a year of war, I stopped to check on the news like I used to. Maybe because I was tired, or maybe because it was just too sad and unfair and I needed a break from it. After 2 years of war, I moved to the United States. When I moved here, it was really weird at first. People looked happier and everything looked peaceful again. I stopped looking at news about the war almost completely, only if something big happened or if my family told me about something. All of my experience and what I've been through influenced me to pick IT as my major. The reason for it is that IT is something that you can do from any place in the world. Technology and communication are global fields, and they connect people across borders. It's something that I'm good at and enjoy doing. You can work from any place in the world that gives you freedom that I really want for me and my family. Looking back, the beginning of the war was a moment that forced me to grow up quickly and become more aware of the world around me. It taught me that literacy is not just about reading or writing in school. It is also about how we interpret information. Learning information and finding reliable sources is a key skill in today's world, and I think that war really made me understand the importance of it.